The story of peace, the white dove. Long ago, in a small village between two hills, people lived in fear. The village was divided into two parts. On the east side lived the red family. On the west side lived the blue family. They did not talk to each other. They did not smile at each other. Every week there was a fight. Sometimes it was about water from the river. Sometimes it was about land for animals. Sometimes it was about old history that no one really remembered. The children copied the adults. They threw stones, shouted names, and never played together. The air in the village was heavy. People were tired. They wanted to live quietly, but anger was like smoke. It touched every house. The girl who asked why. In the middle of the village lived a young girl named Amina. She was only 12, but her heart was soft and her eyes were clear. One evening, she asked her father, "Why do we fight with the blue family?" Her father looked down, "Because they are not like us. But they also eat bread, drink water, and walk on this earth." Amina said, "They are people like us." Her father had no answer. He just shook his head. The dove. One morning, Amina was walking near the river. She saw a white dove sitting on a rock. The bird was calm, shining in the sunlight. Amina whispered, "You are beautiful. You are not red, not blue. You are just white. You are peace." She thought for a moment, then picked up a small piece of wood. On it she wrote one word, peace. She tied it to the dove's leg with a thin thread. Then she opened her hands and let the bird fly. The dove flew over the river, over the red houses and blue houses, and landed on the roof of the school. Children from both families saw the word on its leg. They read it slowly, peace. The children looked at each other. For the first time, they did not throw stones. They did not shout. They were quiet. The meeting. That evening, the children told their parents about the dove. Some parents laughed, but some began to think. A few days later, the elders from both sides met near the river. They looked at each other for a long time. Finally, an old man from the red family spoke. "We are tired. We do not want to fight anymore." A woman from the blue family nodded. "We also want rest. Our children must live better than us." Slowly, the two groups began to talk. They made simple rules. The water from the river would be shared. The land would be divided fairly. The children would go to the same school. It was not easy. Old anger sometimes returned. But every time, the people remembered the dove and the small word, peace. A new village. Months passed. The schoolyard became full of laughter. Red children and blue children played together. They kicked the same football, drew on the same walls, and sang the same songs. The market became busy again. Women from both sides sold bread side by side. Men worked together to build a new bridge across the river. The village was no longer divided. It was one. Amina often walked by the river. Sometimes she saw the white dove again. She smiled and whispered, "Thank you." The lesson years later, when Amina was grown, she told her own children. Peace does not come from guns or from shouts. Peace comes from listening, from sharing, and from kindness. Peace is like water. It gives life to everything. Without it, we are dry and broken. With it, we grow. Her children listened carefully, and they promised to keep the treasure of peace safe in their hearts. Moral of the story: peace is stronger than anger. It begins with one small act of kindness and grows until it touches everyone.